Why is it that in our darkest moments, we instinctively close our eyes, bow our heads, and whisper a prayer? It's not because we think we're weak. It's because deep down, we know there's something greater, something beyond our control, something that listens. Prayer is not about religion. It's about connection. It's about grounding ourselves in a world that often feels like it's spinning too fast. It's about pausing to align not just with a higher power, but with our deepest values, our truest selves. Today, I want to share with you why prayer, not as a ritual, but as a mindset, can be one of the most transformative tools we have, not only to survive trials, but to rise from them stronger, clearer, and more courageous. Prayer, when approached with an open heart, serves as a powerful tool for clarity. In times of uncertainty, when our minds are clouded with questions and doubts, it offers a moment of pause, an opportunity to step back from the noise and reflect. Prayer is not merely an act of asking for guidance or intervention. It is a chance to align ourselves with a deeper sense of purpose and understanding. It invites us to reconnect with our core values, beliefs, and the greater meaning of our lives. In the fast-paced world we live in today, it is easy to become overwhelmed. We juggle responsibilities, tackle challenges, and try to manage the demands of our personal lives. All of this can create a sense of confusion, making it difficult to see the bigger picture. The noise of the world, whether in the form of expectations, opinions, or even internal struggles, can drown out our inner voice, leaving us lost in the complexity of the moment. This is where prayer steps in as a source of clarity. By taking the time to pause and center ourselves through prayer, we give our minds a moment to quiet the distractions. It is in these moments of stillness that we find the space to reconnect with what truly matters. Prayer offers a sanctuary from the chaos, allowing us to focus on our intentions, desires, and the wisdom that lies within. But clarity through prayer isn't always about receiving immediate answers. Often it's more about creating the space to let our thoughts settle, allowing the questions we face to take a back seat to the sense of peace that comes with the act of reflection. In doing so, we become better equipped to approach our challenges with a calm mind and a clearer sense of direction. It's not uncommon to find that the answers we seek emerge gradually as we allow ourselves to remain open to the guidance that prayer brings. Furthermore, prayer helps us gain clarity by providing perspective. It encourages us to look beyond the immediate concerns and see our lives within a larger context. When we face a difficult situation, it's easy to become consumed by it, believing that the present moment defines our entire reality. However, prayer helps us zoom out from our circumstances and recognize that our struggles are often temporary. Prayer can help us tap into a greater understanding of life, reminding us that we are part of something far bigger than our individual challenges. In times of distress, prayer can also provide clarity in terms of our emotional state. When we feel lost, unsure, or conflicted, prayer allows us to explore and understand our feelings. Through the process of prayer, we are invited to express our emotions, whether they be fear, anger, sadness, or confusion, without judgment. This honesty creates space for emotional clarity, helping us confront and process our feelings in a healthy, meaningful way. By expressing these emotions in prayer, we often gain insights into the root causes of our inner turmoil, helping us make sense of our emotional experiences. Additionally, prayer serves as a reminder of our values and priorities. When we face life's trials, it's easy to become distracted by external pressures, leading us to make decisions that are not aligned with our true selves. Prayer brings us back to our core, encouraging us to reconnect with the principles that guide us. It becomes a touchstone for the decisions we make, offering us clarity about what is truly important and how we want to navigate life's challenges. Moreover, prayer provides a sense of clarity by fostering a deep sense of gratitude. In our daily lives, it is easy to focus on what is missing or what is wrong, but prayer encourages us to shift our focus to what we already have. It brings us into a mindset of appreciation, helping us recognize the blessings in our lives, even amid difficulty. This shift in perspective not only calms the mind, but also empowers us to approach challenges with greater optimism and resolve. Ultimately, prayer is not just about seeking answers from an external source. It is a practice of self-discovery. It is about tuning into the quiet voice within us that knows our true path, even when we feel uncertain. Through prayer, we give ourselves permission to listen to our intuition, trust in our inner wisdom, and find clarity in the midst of confusion. By making prayer a part of our daily lives, we cultivate a state of mental clarity that can guide us through both the calm and stormy seas of life. In this way, prayer becomes more than a moment of asking for help. It becomes an ongoing process of gaining clarity, understanding, and peace. It helps us navigate life's uncertainties with confidence, reminding us that, no matter what, we are never truly alone. Through prayer, we learn to trust not only in a higher power, but in our ability to find clarity within ourselves. Prayer is a source of strength that builds resilience in ways both subtle and profound. When we encounter trials, setbacks, or moments of despair, our first instinct may be to feel defeated, to shrink in the face of adversity. But prayer offers something more than an emotional release or an escape. It provides the inner strength to endure, adapt, and ultimately thrive in the face of challenges. Through prayer, we cultivate a sense of fortitude that allows us to confront difficult circumstances with courage and persistence. Resilience is not simply the ability to bounce back from adversity. It is the capacity to grow stronger in response to it. Prayer serves as a catalyst for this growth by helping us reframe the way we perceive obstacles. Instead of viewing difficulties as insurmountable barriers, prayer helps us see them as opportunities for transformation and self-discovery. In these moments, prayer serves as a reminder that our strength does not come from avoiding challenges, but from our ability to face them with grace and conviction. When we pray, we invite a sense of peace and calm into our lives, even in the midst of turmoil. This peace is not the absence of struggle, but rather the presence of a deep, unwavering faith that we can weather the storm. In times of difficulty, prayer helps us quiet the noise of fear and anxiety that so often accompanies hardship. It allows us to center ourselves, focusing on the present moment rather than becoming overwhelmed by what lies ahead. This quieting of the mind creates space for us to approach problems with a clearer perspective, empowering us to act with purpose and determination. Moreover, prayer strengthens resilience by fostering a mindset of hope. It is easy to become consumed by negativity when faced with adversity. Our minds can quickly spiral into thoughts of helplessness, self-doubt, and despair. Prayer, however, shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is possible. It reminds us that there is always a source of strength available to us, whether we recognize it in the form of faith, community, or personal determination. In prayer, we are reminded that our circumstances do not define our potential. Our response to those circumstances does. This hopeful mindset nurtures the resilience needed to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Prayer helps us believe that, no matter how challenging a situation may appear, there is always a way through. It encourages us to trust in the process of growth, knowing that every hardship we face is an opportunity to build the emotional, mental, and spiritual muscles required for future challenges. Resilience, therefore, is not something we are born with, but something we develop over time through our experiences, particularly the trials we face with faith and prayer. In addition to hope, prayer provides the strength to persevere by connecting us to a higher purpose. When we are caught in the midst of struggle, it can be easy to lose sight of why we started or what we are working toward. Prayer helps us reconnect with the larger vision for our lives, reminding us of our values, dreams, and goals. This connection to purpose fuels our drive to keep going, even when progress seems slow, or when setbacks threaten to derail us. Prayer helps us remember that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves, and that our challenges are part of a larger story we are called to participate in. Furthermore, prayer deepens our sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. It creates a space where we can reflect on our feelings, acknowledge our fears, and release our frustrations in a healthy way. This emotional clarity is a key component of resilience, as it allows us to process difficult emotions without letting them dictate our actions. This prayer gives us the tools to navigate our inner landscape, recognizing that resilience is not about suppressing emotions, but about learning to work with them in a constructive manner. Through prayer, we also develop a sense of gratitude that enhances our resilience. When we are in the midst of difficulty, it's easy to focus on what is going wrong. But prayer encourages us to look for what is still going right, even in the darkest of times. It reminds us of the blessings we still have, the lessons we are learning, and the ways in which we are growing. This shift in perspective helps us build emotional resilience, as it strengthens our ability to maintain hope and faith, even when life is hard. Gratitude becomes a foundation that supports our resilience, reinforcing the belief that we have the resources we need to overcome challenges. Additionally, prayer connects us to a sense of community. In moments of hardship, we often feel isolated, as though we are facing our struggles alone. Yet prayer reminds us that we are never truly alone. Whether we are praying individually or as part of a larger group, prayer binds us to others who are experiencing similar struggles or who are offering their support from a place of shared faith. This connection to others provides a network of strength that bolsters our own resilience, reminding us that we are part of a larger human experience. Through prayer, we come to understand that resilience is not about being invulnerable to pain, but about learning to navigate it with grace and perseverance. Prayer teaches us that resilience is a continuous process, one that requires patience, faith, and self-compassion. Each time we turn to prayer in times of difficulty, we reinforce the habit of drawing strength from within, deepening our ability to withstand the challenges life brings. Over time, prayer helps us become more resilient, not because it removes life's challenges, but because it gives us the strength and wisdom to face them with unwavering courage. Prayer has the profound ability to cultivate gratitude and hope, two qualities that can transform our perspective on life, especially in times of hardship. When we face difficult circumstances, it can be easy to focus on what we lack or what is going wrong. We may feel overwhelmed by the weight of our struggles, and the tendency is often to overlook the blessings that are still present. However, through prayer, we are invited to shift our focus from scarcity to abundance, from despair to hope. Prayer opens our hearts to the gifts we have even in the midst of adversity, and reminds us that there is always something to be grateful for, no matter how small it may seem. At its core, gratitude is a practice of acknowledgement. Prayer encourages us to take a moment and reflect on the positive aspects of our lives, which can often be overshadowed by our immediate challenges. When we pray, we are prompted to recognize the things that are easy to overlook in our daily lives: the love of family, the support of friends, the simple joys of life, and the countless other blessings that we may take for granted. By consciously giving thanks for these things, prayer shifts our mindset and helps us develop a habit of focusing on the positive, even when life feels heavy. This practice of gratitude does not dismiss or ignore the struggles we face. Instead, it serves as a counterbalance, reminding us that we are not defined by our hardships, but by the many blessings that surround us. Gratitude through prayer also has the power to ground us in the present moment. Often, when we are caught in the grip of anxiety or fear, our thoughts drift to what has happened in the past or what might happen in the future. We worry about what we have lost, what we might lose, or what we still lack. Prayer, however, brings us back to the here and now, to the moments of grace that are unfolding in our lives at this very moment. It invites us to focus on the present, to give thanks for what is already here, and to find peace in the awareness of the blessings we already possess. In addition to cultivating gratitude, prayer fosters hope, which is essential in overcoming adversity. Hope is not a passive feeling, but an active force that propels us forward, even when the road ahead is unclear. Prayer helps us reconnect with the belief that things can get better, that change is possible, and that even in our darkest moments, there is a light that will guide us through. Hope, nurtured through prayer, becomes a source of strength, helping us persist in the face of challenges. It enables us to hold on to the belief that better days are ahead, and that even if we cannot see the way forward, there is a path that will unfold if we remain faithful and committed to our journey. Prayer strengthens hope by reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. When we pray, we open ourselves to the support of something greater than ourselves. This may be a higher power, the universe, or simply the collective energy of the human spirit. The act of prayer is a reminder that there is a force, whether spiritual or internal, that is working on our behalf. In times of difficulty, it can be easy to feel isolated or abandoned, but prayer connects us to a larger network of support that reinforces our sense of hope. It serves as a reminder that we are part of a greater whole, and that, even in our moments of weakness, there is always a source of strength available to us. Hope cultivated through prayer also extends to how we perceive our challenges. When we pray, we are encouraged to shift our perspective on the obstacles we face. Rather than viewing them as insurmountable or as signs of failure, prayer helps us see them as opportunities for growth and transformation. This shift in perspective allows us to approach challenges with a sense of optimism and resilience, knowing that each difficulty we face holds the potential to teach us something valuable. Prayer helps us reframe our struggles, making it easier to maintain hope even when the situation feels overwhelming. Furthermore, prayer allows us to align our intentions with our deepest desires, fostering a sense of purpose that sustains hope. When we face challenges, it's easy to become discouraged and lose sight of why we are fighting through adversity. Prayer helps us reconnect with our higher purpose, reminding us of the values and goals that are guiding us through the struggle. This connection to purpose fuels our hope, providing a sense of direction and motivation even in the most difficult times. It reminds us that there is a greater purpose to our journey, and that every step, no matter how challenging, brings us closer to fulfilling that purpose. Through prayer, we also cultivate hope by acknowledging our strength and resilience. When we pray, we reflect on the challenges we have already overcome, the obstacles we have already surmounted, and the growth we have already experienced. This reflection builds our confidence and reminds us that we have the inner resources to face whatever lies ahead. Prayer encourages us to trust in our own abilities, knowing that, with faith and perseverance, we can navigate the storms of life and emerge stronger on the other side. This deepened sense of self-belief nourishes our hope, reinforcing the idea that we are capable of handling whatever challenges come our way. Finally, prayer helps us to see beyond the immediate struggles and focus on the bigger picture. When we are consumed by difficulties, it's easy to feel as though our world is falling apart. Prayer allows us to zoom out and recognize that our current struggles are part of a larger narrative, a journey of growth, learning, and transformation. This broader perspective infuses us with hope, reminding us that what we are going through is temporary and that better days will come. It encourages us to hold on to the belief that everything is unfolding as it should, and that, even when we don't understand the reasons behind our struggles, there is a purpose to everything. Through the cultivation of gratitude and hope, prayer provides a steady foundation upon which we can build resilience, courage, and inner peace. It reminds us that, no matter how challenging life may seem, there is always something to be thankful for, and there is always hope for a brighter future.